Hey guys and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a one-shot movie for What If Godzilla Was in Attack on Titan. Mankind has defeated their greatest threat Godzilla by using their latest weapon, the Dimension Tide, forever ending his reign in their world. But did they save their world only to doom another? If you guys like this video and want to see more what ifs I make, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. The original story and author will be in the description down below. And without any more announcement, let's begin the what if. The king of the monsters Godzilla has just killed his winged foe Mega Gurus and now marches on to get the very thing he came to Osaka for, the plasma energy, the very substance that he craves for. Godzilla soon reached his destination at the Science Institute, hidden within it plasma energy. As Godzilla started destroying the structure that holds his meal, suddenly the flying man-made weapon the Griffin landed straight at his back, setting it ablaze during contact. In rage and in pain, Godzilla turned to the sky to see who would dare try and harm him. He looks up to see the clouds swirling around a light dark circle, fired by the Dimension Tide. Soon the ground around him started to pull up with dust and dirt, like what happened before on that island. That strange force was trying to take Godzilla again, but he would not let it win. He charged up his beam and fired at the black circle coming at him, but it was too late. As he fired the beam, the black circle already took him in. Nothing remained but a crater filled with crumbled cities. Mankind cheered at the supposed end of the king of the monsters, but one cannot help but wonder. Did mankind save their world, but doomed another? Meanwhile, in another time, another world, Wall Maria has been breached once more. A horde of titans raging from 7 to 15 meters in height, each attacking and eating the frightened humans. One titan raging 14 meters with an appearance of a fat bald man grabbed a helpless woman, but then a swift figure came and cut off the hand of the titan that held the woman. And another swift figure came and caught the woman from the falling limb and put her somewhere safe. Then a third swift figure came and stabbed the titan in the nape of the neck, instantly killing it. The three figures soon appeared on a house rooftop. The three figures were wearing a tan jacket with white pants, and wearing around the side of their waist are metal objects. Each one has a different look. The one in the middle of the three is a 13-year-old boy with dark brown hair and tea-green eyes filled with hatred for all titans. His name is Eren Yeager. The one on his left was another boy, but with blonde hair and blue eyes. He did not show hatred, but a mix of fear and relief, the fear of more titans coming and the relief that they saved another life. His name is Armin Arlert. The one on the right is a girl, with black hair and brown eyes, and wearing a dark red scarf and dark brown sash. She is Eren Yeager's foster sister, Mikasa Ackerman. Another one dead, sighed Armin. But more are coming, said Mikasa, looking at the breached wall, then turned to her foster brother. Do you think it's them? Of course it's them, who else would it be, snarled Eren. But right now, till we see them, we have to kill every titan. But first we must make sure the citizens are out of harm's way, said Armin. I agree, said Mikasa. Eren looked at his two best friends, knowing that they were right. All right. But when they come, I'm going to kill them, said Eren, heading out to the next part of the Shiganshina district. Those three, among with many others, are part of a group called the Survey Corps. They have fought the titans since they invaded. They have faced hardship, losses and betrayal, but still they keep on fighting, never stopping until the threat of the titans are no more. Unknowingly today their world will change forever. On the other side of the district, another group was having trouble with a titan that ranged from 15 meters in height, having a large belly, one droopy eye and short hair. This titan was chasing after one of the core members, a female with dark brown hair named Sasha Blouse, also goes by the name Potato Girl. Her teammates tried to save her, but they were swept away by the titan. Sasha used her 3D maneuver gear on her sides to try and get away from the hungry titan, but to her horror the titan finally caught her. Sasha in a panic tried to get out of its grasp, but the titan was holding her tight. As she saw the titan lowering its jaw at her, she closed her eyes. I wished my last meal was not a potato, she thought to herself, waiting for the end, but it did not come. She slowly opened her eyes to see the titan no longer looking at her but up at the sky. Even though she was still in the titan's clutches, she looked up in curiosity, and what she saw made her eyes wide open. Then suddenly the titan's hands were cut off by another core member, a man with a shaved head named Connie Springer. Connie then caught Sasha from the fall, and he used the 3D maneuver gear to hook on a rooftop away from the unmovable titan. What the hell is wrong with you? Shouted Connie to his friend, whose gaze was still towards the sky. The titan could have eaten you. Why didn't you try to get it out of its hands? But Sasha still did not answer. Sasha? Sasha! Answer me, shouted Connie as he shook her shoulders. Sasha then turned her gaze to her friend, but still kept her shocked face. The sky, she whispered. What? Asked Connie, confused. The sky, Sasha repeated as she looked back up and moved her left hand pointing up. Look at the sky. Connie then looked up at the direction his friend was pointing to, and soon his eyes widened with a look of wonder and horror. Meanwhile, on the top of the wall, Maria. Three figures looked out among the carnage between man and Titan. These people were once part of Survey Corps, but not anymore. They serve any purpose. Who they serve and what is their purpose, no one knows for sure, but they do know about what those three can do. They have the ability to change into a Titan form. They are known as Titan shifters. On the left, looking out with glaring golden eyes, is a tall, short blonde-haired man named Reiner Braun, or as he is known in Titan form as the Armored Titan. In the middle, looking out with sad green eyes, is a short brown-haired man named Bertolt Hoover. Despite his sad form, his Titan form is the largest Titan, called the Colossal Titan. And finally, on the right Titan rope is a tall woman with long black hair tied in a ponytail with expressionless eyes. She is called Emer, but while her fellow Titan shifters left the Corps for their own means, she left to protect a very important friend named Historia Rice. And now she is here tied up by her fellow Titan shifters because they still don't trust her. And the point of me being here is? Emer asked. Just wanted to see if you have second thoughts about joining us, said Reiner, not turning away from the scene. I already told you, I'll join your cause as long as no harm comes to Historia, Emer said, annoyed. And she won't be as long as you don't fight against us, said Reiner, now turning his attention to Emer. Bertolt ignored the two while looking out onto the battle, but then something caught his eye. One by one, each Titan, both large and small, stopped trying to attack and devoured the people and are now just looking up. Look, he shouted, gaining the attention of the two now looking at the strange spectacle. Reiner looked in confusion while Emer studied the Titan's looks. She then looked up at the sky. What is happening? Shouted Reiner in confusion. Perhaps you two should look up. Reiner and Bertolt turned to Emer with a surprised face, looking up. They soon looked up as well, and like Emer, they also gained a surprised look. Unbeknownst to the Titan shifters is another Titan shifter, but unlike them, he continues to fight against the Titans after what one killed his mother. That shifter is Aaron Yeager. Aaron spied them while he was on top of Wall Rosa. He looked on in anger, still feeling the betrayal of both Reiner and Bertolt, who he once called friends, now forever his enemies. He was just about to set out and strike them both down when both Armin and Mikasa landed near him. Aaron, breathed Armin, looking both tired and shocked. What? Snapped Aaron. Both Reiner and Bertolt are right there. We should, Aaron, said Mikasa, gaining her foster brother's attention, and calmly said, look at the sky. Aaron lowered his brow in confusion but looked up. His eyes soon widened. That's impossible, he whispered in shock. Soon both human and Titan were all looking up at the sky, and the very thing they saw was a swirling black circle slowly sucking in the clouds. Then the circle fell towards the ground, heading right to the middle of the Shiganshina district. Many people, including the Corps members, got as far away as they could from the now descending circle, but the Titans just stood there watching the descending circle. Then it landed, creating a large amount of dust to sweep the area. Many of the villagers held on tight while some were blown away, as well as some of the smaller Titan, while the rest stood like statues. Aaron, who was still on top of the Rosa wall with his friends, shields his eyes from the cloud of dust. Then he opened his eyes to see a mushroom-like cloud in the middle of the district. The dust soon settled, revealing a small crater filled with destroyed houses, broken up streets, and bodies of both humans and Titans, as well as a strange jagged spike-like rock formation. Aaron and company looked at the strange structure, and soon more of their fellow Corps members soon appeared by their sides. One of the members, named Hang Zoe, looked in awe at the strange spiked rocks and said, amazing. What the hell is that? Asked another member named Jean Kirstein. I don't. But Aaron stopped when he, as well as others, heard a large growling sound. This sound was unlike anything they heard before. They scanned the area and looked if one of the still standing Titans made it. But then the spiked rock structures started to move. They thought it was going to fall. They were wrong. The large spiked rocks soon started to stand up. The rubble cleared up to see some sort of lizard-like form. Everyone was breathless at the sight of the creature. Aaron never took his eyes off it. The creature was not as tall as the Colossal Titan, but boy was it big. Its height was about 55 meters, its skin was green and jagged, and had a long tail. The large purple spikes were shown to be on its back, which had 3 rows, and the middle one being the largest of them, making the creature somewhat hunched. It had 4 claws on each hand and toe, its head had small ears, its mouth had rows of sharp teeth with 2 fangs pointed at the front, and its eyes, if you dared to look closer, had a color of orange. The creature soon lifted its head up high, opened its mouth, and let out a roar that no one had ever heard before, a roar that would shake the heavens. This world has just heard the voice of the king of the monsters, Godzilla. Those behind the Rosa wall heard it and thought the roar was a new Titan ready to kill them. But those on the other side know that it was not a Titan, they see it as a god, Eren, and the others did not know what to think, they just stared in awe, wonder, and fear at the sight of it. The Titan shifters on the top of Wall Maria shared the same expression as the others, but Bertolt showed a look of pure horror. Godzilla looked at his new surroundings. He was puzzled that this was not the land he was in an hour ago, perhaps that strange light took him somewhere else, whatever the reason. He was mad. Godzilla turned his sight below him and looked upon the Titans. Eren and company held their breaths as Godzilla studied the group of Titans, and to their shock one of the 7-meter types of Titan jumped at Godzilla. Godzilla bellowed with rage as the small Titan grasped at his chest, then soon more Titans from 7 to 15 attacked him. 2 15-meter Titans were climbing on his back and 8 9-meter Titans were grabbing his legs. "I don't believe it," said Hanger in fascination at the brawl. "The Titans are attacking a creature that's not human. But why are they attacking it?" asked a blonde-haired corps member named Historia, but no one answered her question as everyone was watching the battle continuing. Even Eren, who wanted to right now kill every Titan here, could not move or look away at this mighty creature throwing mankind's ancient foes like they were nothing. Godzilla was enraged that these small creatures would dare attack him. It was just like when those swarms attacked him on that island. Then the Titan on Godzilla's chest bit down on him. Godzilla roared in annoyance and used his hand to swipe the Titan off. The 7-meter Titan landed swiftly on the ground with a piece of Godzilla's flesh in its mouth. The Titan then took the chunk and swallowed it whole, and as it was about to get seconds till it stopped, Armin turned away from the battle and spotted what was happening to the Titan. "Guys, look," Armin said, pointing to the Titan. Everyone looked and saw the Titan choking. It grabbed its own throat as it continued to choke. Then it stopped and fell face first on the floor unmoving, and its skin was boiling. The group was once again shocked at seeing something impossible. The Titan looked dead. How? "I mean, is it?" asked Connie in amazement. "It looks dead," said corps member Levi, sneering at the now boiling Titan carcass. "But how?" "I thought a Titan can only be killed if you attack the nape of its neck," asked Sasha. Perhaps. Everyone turned to Hang, still watching the battle but mainly looking at Godzilla. "Perhaps its skin or blood is somehow poisonous to them." Hang wondered aloud. "Is it possible?" asked Mikasa. "Well, I believe so, but I need more information." "You'll get it when that creature, whatever it is, kills off the Titans," said Levi, looking back on the battle. Godzilla continued to scrape off the Titans as much as he could, but where one falls more keeps coming back up. Many Titans fell off dead when they swallowed his flesh. Godzilla was even more enraged. "These creatures are just like the swarm, poking him with their teeth." Godzilla had just about enough. Eren soon noticed something strange. The creature's spikes were glowing bright orange. He also saw the Titans on the back somehow set ablaze. "What?" he said as everyone shared in the shock, but what happened next shocked them. The creature's mouth opened up and unleashed a straight bright orange beam of fire at the oncoming Titans. Some were blown away and some were completely incinerated. During the release of the beam, the Titans that were on Godzilla jumped off in surprise. The Titans that got off were either caught in the beam, stepped on by Godzilla, flung away by his tail, or ran as fast as they could away from him. Eren and the other corps members watched as Godzilla's beam was not only destroying the Titans but also completely obliterating the town. Eren watched as his old hometown was being completely burned. His mind was conflicted. He hated the creature for doing more damage to the district than the Titans ever did, and also with the loss of who knows how many innocents are still out there, and yet he is silently praising the creature for killing more Titans than any human has ever done. The 3 Titan shifters also were astounded by how powerful this monster could spit out strong fire that could completely destroy both the town and the Titan. Reiner sneered at the creature. "If this creature does not die, it would make their mission much more difficult." Reiner then started to walk to the edge of the wall until Bertolt saw him. "What are you doing?" he shouted. Reiner stopped and turned to his comrade. "I'm going to try to stop that beast." "That is foolish," spoke Ymir. The two turned to face her, still watching the carnage. "Look at that beast. It's literally killing off all the Titans it could see. You don't stand a chance against it." Reiner frowned at her, knowing she was right. "But I have to try and fight," he said in rage. "Not you, me." Reiner turned back to face Bertolt in surprise. "My Titan form is bigger than that creature. Perhaps I can kill it," Bertolt said in a brave voice, but his fellow Titan shifters could see his fist shaking in fear. "I'm unsure about this," said Reiner. Then he placed a hand on Bertolt's right shoulder. "But if you think you can fight, then I believe in you." Bertolt smiled at his friend. "But know this, if you get in trouble, I'll back you up." Reiner said. "Okay, and thank you, Reiner," said Bertolt. He turned to Ymir, hoping for some luck from her. Ymir, still watching the battle, turned her left eye to him and said, "Try not to die out there." Bertolt nodded and looked back at the creature who had just blasted another Titan. Bertolt took a deep breath, he then got out a sharp needle and with great force jammed it in his shoulder, then jumped off the wall. Godzilla looked at the now burned area. Nothing stood, the houses were completely burned down, and there was hardly any human life here. The Titans that managed to escape from the atomic beam were now appearing to be cowering in fear at Godzilla. Godzilla looked at the last surviving Titans, and as he was about to finish them off, then a bright yellow light flashed behind Godzilla. The core members knew what kind of light that is, and they know all too well what it means. Godzilla then turned around to see the source of the light and found another Titan, but this Titan was much different than the others. It was not small, in fact it was big, as tall as he was, if not a little bit bigger. Its form looked like a human male but without skin, and its feet were pillar-like, and steam was coming out of its body. This Titan is Bertolt's form, the Colossal Titan. Aaron's gaze now centered on the Colossal Titan. The same Titan that broke Wall Rosa years ago, the same Titan that let out all the others including the one that killed his mother, the same Titan that was once his friend. Aaron then became enraged and was about to go and attack it when Levi stood in front of him. "Get out of my way," demanded Aaron. "I got to." "No you don't," he said calmly, shocking Aaron. It would seem that the Colossal would wish to fight this creature, and given how it killed off the Titans, I say let it try. "But Bertolt the Colossal," said Aaron, "I know what he has done, but under the circumstances I think you can hold your desire to kill him until the fight is over," said Levi. Aaron, still angry, sighed in defeat as Mikasa and Armin comforted him. Then Levi turned and looked back at the two giants and said, "Besides, the Colossal might even kill this creature and we can attack it at its weakened state. But until then let them fight." Godzilla looked at the new arrival, sensing that it wants to fight him. Godzilla, who would never run from anything, let out a roar to challenge the Colossal Titan. The Colossal responded with a loud roar that rivaled Godzilla's, but it did not faze him. With a growl, Godzilla charged at his opponent. Everyone watched as Godzilla was making his way to the Colossal Titan, but strangely the Titan did not move an inch. Then as Godzilla got closer, the Colossal released a large amount of steam clouds at Godzilla. Godzilla roared in both pain and surprise as the steam completely covered him up. The Colossal looked at the cloud of steam and was waiting for Godzilla's burned body to fall down. But then suddenly Godzilla emerged unharmed and rammed into the Colossal. The Colossal was shocked that he did not have time to block the charge. Godzilla rammed the Colossal right to Wall Maria. Godzilla then bites down on Colossal's right shoulder. In pain, Colossal used all of his strength to push Godzilla back. Godzilla was surprised at how strong this Titan was, but that did not stop him. Godzilla swung his tail at the Colossal, but the Colossal ducked his head, missing the tail wipe. But when the Colossal raised his head, he was blasted back to the wall by Godzilla's beam, hitting him on the chest. Colossal touched his chest in pain. Never before had he felt this kind of burn before. But he did not care, he had to try and kill this creature. Colossal then charged at Godzilla, and he as well. They grabbed each other, trying to push each other down, but both were equal in strength. Everyone was amazed that the Colossal Titan was having trouble trying to beat Godzilla. Then they saw the Titan pushing Godzilla back, trying to knock him down. Godzilla then lifted his right foot and kicked the Titan in the stomach. The Colossal gained his balance and raised his right arm and was about to give Godzilla a punch, but then Godzilla ducked down a charge just as the Titan moved his arm. Using his sharp dorsal plates, Godzilla cut the Colossal Titan's arm off. As the Colossal screamed in pain and holding his cut-off appendage, Godzilla quickly charged up another atomic breath and fired at the Titan's back. The force of the blast pushed the Colossal Titan down on the ground. Colossal tried to get up but failed as Godzilla repeatedly wiped him with his tail. Aaron never imagined that something that caused damage to the walls and destroyed their cannons could be beaten down like a weakling. Watching this, Aaron allowed himself a small smile as the Titan whined in pain. Meanwhile, Reiner, who was watching the battle, could not take it anymore. He would not allow his friend to be beaten to death. Reiner grabbed a pocket knife. He turned to Emer, looking at him, her eyes telling him that this would be pointless, but Reiner did not care. He ran to the edge of the wall, stabbed himself and jumped. Godzilla then ceased his tail wipe and was about to turn back to his downed opponent, until another flash of light appeared behind him. Godzilla turned fast to the source of the light, and saw another Titan, but with some armor plated on its skin and its height around 15 meters, and it was running towards him. Reiner, or as he is now the Armored Titan, was running towards Godzilla, not caring that the creature towers over him. He also saw Godzilla's dorsal plates light up. Godzilla let out an atomic beam right at the charging Armored Titan, but the oncoming Titan jumped, missing the beam and launching himself right at Godzilla's neck and using both arms and legs to put it in a chokehold. Ferociously, Godzilla tried to claw the Titan off his neck, but the Titan would not let go. Godzilla tried to release an atomic beam, but thanks to the Armored Titan's grip it did not release. That of course was a bad move. For the armored titan, that is, since Godzilla's beam could not be released by the mouth, it was then released out of his skin pores. This atomic pulse caused the armored titan to let go of Godzilla's neck in pain and landed on a small pile of titan core. The armored titan opened its eyes just in time to see Godzilla's foot coming at him. Slam! Connie flinched as he watched Godzilla repeatedly stepping on his former friend, but Aaron was secretly overjoyed that this mighty creature was easily defeating those traitors. Soon half of the core members were cheering for Godzilla, but it stopped when the Colossal Titan rose up with his now healed hand. Armin noticed that the Colossal's back and chest had not yet healed. The Colossal looked at Godzilla and his eyes widened in seeing his friend being steeped to death. Colossal then charged with his right shoulder out and slammed him at his side. The force of the slam caused Godzilla to fall on his sides. Colossal looked at the footprint that had his friend in it to find him alive but knocked out, and his armored skin now had cracks. Enraged for what happened to his comrade, the Colossal Titan walked to Godzilla and grabbed him and using his strength lifted him up over his head, then slamming Godzilla on his sides, breaking his waistbone. Godzilla bellowed in agony, and while still holding Godzilla lifted him up again and then turned to Wall Rosa. Aaron's eyes widened at the descending figure coming at them. He turned to his fellow core members, also wide-eyed and unmoving. Move! Aaron shouted, freeing them from the shock. The group quickly used their gear to escape the wall just as Godzilla's whole body landed on top of the wall. As he landed, the wall crumbled, burying him in the rubble and leaving a wide opening for more titans to come. The wall is destroyed, cried a male citizen. The titans will get in, screamed a woman. Aaron with Armin and Mikasa landed on the road looking at the hole while the rest of the core members were moving the rest of the citizens to safety. The rest of the surviving titans that managed to get out of Godzilla's way soon came out of their hiding place and stood behind the Colossal Titan, getting ready for their overdue meal. The Colossal started walking to the rubble that covered Godzilla, checking to make sure the monster was dead. Aaron watched as the Colossal Titan made its way to the rubble. He and his friends were getting ready for the next Titan to come through that opening. Then, just as the Colossal moved his right hand to clear the rubble, an atomic beam erupted from the rubble and completely obliterated the arm. Colossal roared in pain and moved away from the rubble. The Titan stood frozen, as well as the humans, who stopped running and looked back at the scene. Then Godzilla bursted out from the rubble and surprised everyone by standing upright like his sides were never broken. Godzilla looked at Colossal with great rage in his eyes. Colossal widened his eyes in fear. How could he be alive and still standing? But he'll have to wonder about it later. He got into a fighting pose, but then he looked to his right arm and was shocked to discover it was not healed yet. It did not even started to heal. Come to think of it, his chest and his back have not been healed yet. In fear, he tried to change back to his human form, but as he tired, all he felt was pain from his wounds. Colossal then looked back at Godzilla and realized that his not healing had something to do with the monster's fire. Godzilla then shook the remaining rubble off his back and let loose a powerful roar at the Colossal Titan. Feeling absolutely terrified, the Colossal started to run away from the monster, but Godzilla was not going to let him get away. He let loose another beam, this time aiming for the Titan's legs, destroying them and having the Titan fall down on his face in great pain. Godzilla then marched towards the fallen Titan while stomping on smaller Titans to the ground. Even in pain, Colossal used his remaining arm to drag himself away from Godzilla, but then Godzilla stopped him by placing his right foot on the Titan's back. The Colossal turned his head slowly and his eyes, filled with fear, widened as Godzilla was charging up an even stronger beam. Aaron, Armin and Mikasa watched as Godzilla was about to kill the Colossal. Aaron watched the whole thing. Go on, you monster, do it, kill him. Aaron shouted at Godzilla. The Colossal looked in complete horror at Godzilla, sensing his end was near. He looked to Ymir, still on top of Wall Maria. Ymir just turned her head away from him. The Colossal / Bertolt looked back at Godzilla. His back glowing even brighter and the flames starting to appear in his mouth. No, this can't be, Bertolt thought in horror. This can't end like this. Someone please, help me. Godzilla then released a full atomic blast right at the Colossal Titan's face, completely surrounding him with a blaze of fire. The Colossal Titan, Bertolt Hoover, is dead. The armored Titan now turned back into his human form. Rainer Braun came out of the footprint crater to see what happened, and to his horror he found the burning body of his friend with Godzilla looking down on it. He failed, he thought. He said he would help him and he failed. Filled with rage and sorrow, he started to walk towards Godzilla to get his revenge for his friend, but then he felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned to face Ymir, untied and looking at him with sad eyes. There is nothing more you or I could do, she said. We must leave and plan ahead. Rainer nodded sadly and looked back at Godzilla and the body of his dead friend. This is not over, he vowed as Ymir turned into her Titan form and carried him away. Everyone on the wall Maria cheered over the death of the Colossal Titan, almost forgetting Godzilla. Of course the Eren and his core members are still looking at Godzilla and thinking, will it attack them now? They got their weapons ready when Godzilla turned his head towards them. Godzilla looked around the area. He had defeated his opponent and now wishes to feed on the energy that fuels him, but he could not sense it anywhere. Now what would he feed on to gain his strength? Just then Godzilla heard a roar and turned around to find another Titan, a deviant type, came running at him and then gave a big leap towards him. And just as the deviant Titan was near Godzilla's face, Godzilla opened his mouth and slammed his jaw on the Titan. As Godzilla held the Titan in its mouth, he tasted the blood running down the body. It made him remember another life he had before. An even greater light changed his whole body. He remembered a time when he and others like him hunted smaller creatures for food, and to top it all, these Titans' skin tastes somewhat like the energy that gave him strength. These creatures would do for now. Everyone was silent as they saw Godzilla chewing and swallowing the Titan, then turned his attention towards the Titans he stomped on. They watched as Godzilla grabbed each Titan in his grasp and took a bite off of each one. "Who's the prey now?" shouted a male citizen, breaking the silence, causing the crowd to once again cheer for Godzilla. Eren used his 3D maneuver gear to get him on top of the still stable wall Rosa to get a better look. He watched as Godzilla picked up a smaller Titan and just swallowed it whole. Eren smiled as this was payback for all the horrible things the Titans have done to humanity in the past. Eren then noticed other Titans running away from the site and escaping through the hole at wall. "Myra, go ahead and run." Eren shouted towards the fleeing Titans, "There is no way you can run from this. This creature has killed the strongest of you and now he has become your predator. We are no longer your prey. You're his." Yarien. Eren heard Mikasa's voice from below and was about to look down until he felt a warm breath on his left. He turned around fast and was now staring right in front of Godzilla's face. Eren did not move a muscle. All he could do was stare at Godzilla's huge eye. Eren had never felt this huge amount of fear before, and he remembered he could turn into a Titan. Did this creature know that? Will he eat him or blast him to nothing? Eren waited for the outcome. Godzilla looked at the small human. It looked like the creatures he fought and ate, but smaller. He did not see this creature as a threat and walked away from him and headed towards Wall Maria. Eren breathed a sigh of relief and watched the mighty behemoth walk his way through the rubble that had once been his hometown. Mikasa then came to Eren's side and hugged him, happy that he's still alive. Then Armin, Jean, Heng, Historia, Levi, Sasha, and Connie joined them on top of the wall looking at Godzilla and out on the charred town. "Did anyone see that fire?" said Heng in excitement. "That fire was stronger than anything I have ever seen, not to mention that it also destroyed the entire district," said Jean, looking at the ruined town. "Who knows how many people died? Do you think it's a god?" whispered Sasha. "Anything with that much power must be right," questioned Historia. "Do you think it will come back?" asked Connie. "If the Titans keep coming here, I believe it will," said Eren. "And when it does come, will it come after you?" asked Levi. Eren looked to him, then back at Godzilla. "Who knows, maybe he will and maybe he won't," he thought, "but should this creature, this god, come after him, he will be ready." As Godzilla walked out into the open area away from the town, he lifted his head to the sky and released a mighty roar upon his new home. The end? That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you like to see more, please like and subscribe for more What If. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.